Remember, or in grammar per se, you cannot use symbols. Okay. Thank you. Why are we using semicolon, semicolon, semicolon?
Because it was in the tabular form and I have to write.
When you are converting it, you wrote and or you put a comma, you don't put semicolon. Okay? And is A and B and. This is the third and circling. It's a 5-mark exercise. You will unnecessarily lose marks. Why G capital? Gardening. It's a common noun. Just in a tabular form because it is given a name. In the paragraph form, we never write in a capital form. Okay, since you're writing it in paragraph. Frame it in your own words. In care of own children. In care of own children, what does it mean? Child care. In care of own children cannot be in care of own children. Taking care of kids or children or taking care of the child, not in care of own. Okay, that's grammatically wrong. The males take out 20 minutes while female take out. Don't translate from Hindi to English. They take care of the child, which males take care of the kids in 45 minutes, while the female take lesser time to take care of for them. And just frame it that way. Don't put status this one here. Again, you're mixing up your tense. Huh? Be careful with your tenses. You can frame it properly, frame it in a proper sentence. You're writing like, females attempts in 9.5 minutes while male attempts in 26. This one. Clothes, washing clothes, ironing and sewing is done much faster by the females rather than the males. Statistically speaking, this is this much, this is this much. Speak, it's converted. You have to jot down all the points, but framing also matters. Alright? So overall, you will not get much marks. You will get only 3, specifically with that all the mistakes which you made. Okay, show me yours.
So I didn't complete, but then I got another module by this stage. By this stage, I got another module. I completed it, but then.
Okay, the other one. You have completed it now. Great. And what about you? Where's your notebook? I think game I have to correct it and see now how much you're scoring. Why? Don't forget, until you don't practice analytical paragraphs, you're not going to get marks in analytical paragraphs.
But usually 1 mark is deducted in paragraph because we don't usually get full marks in paragraphs.
You get in boards I'm talking about. I'm not talking about school.
In boards you get?
You get. As long as I said, number of errors are less. Means it should be flawless paragraph. And the simple fact is you put it in simple sentences, but that's the right idea. You put it in paragraph form, but frame it in a proper way instead of being repetitive. Just now what you're doing. She is being very repetitive. She is writing only this is this, this is this, this is this. You cannot put it cut and dry. You have to frame it in a proper sentence. Okay, give variation in the sentences. See, his starting is very good. You copied it from somewhere, or you wrote it on your own. You wrote it on your own. So I'm impressed with your starting, your introduction.
No, I remember the starting because I was reading.
That's all. So this one is very good. The above chart shows the number of minutes per day spent by British women and men in doing household tasks. On an average, it cannot be on an average. The woman spends about 4 hours approximately. You can do put approximately doing household tasks, whereas men spend less than 2.5 hours doing the same. Okay, the tasks which presented above are cooking, baking, the same thing what you've written in the charts. Why gardening with G becomes capital? You tell me. Gardening is a common noun. These small errors will cost you marks. Care of children. Again, care of children should be capital. Should it be capital? It's C capital. Maintenance spelling we do not know. Seriously, you have written it on your own, or
Some I remember most of the part.
you have a photogenic memory. What? Because the framing is absolutely like, it's not bad. You get a 4 out of 5.
I read it, so I remembered most of the parts and the main parts, so it was easy to remember.
Yeah, but you are missing the statistics. Huh? You have given a generalized idea. You're already in, by the way. May I come in? That should be outside the loop. Come in anyway. Were you there last class?
No.
You were absent.
Yes.
You went for the camp. Rest of your friends arrived from the camp. You were still in the camp only. No? Okay. That will go ahead. It's fine. Most of your points actually would have got a 4 out of 5, but as I said, statistics also you need to add. Okay? Generally, you have done a very good job, rather. So basically, you can read this result. He may get, if the mistakes would have been avoided, you would have got 5 out of 5. Boards, not in schools. School, please don't expect you to get. See, read this one paragraphs. That we made this one. You can read it aloud for them. You did homework.
No, I could not write the chart.
I told you to share the chart, no?
I could not. I was on the group, but I did not open it.
Say you didn't do the homework and you stroll in without taking permission, and this is us. It's okay, come. She's the only sincere person who's done it. And her, she's the only sincere person. But yours also see the framing of this question. You have to frame it as writing a story basically, or telling the information, right? So all the information has to be conveyed in this way. I have that way made you read so many of the analytical paragraphs, and why can't we write one? Here the spell. Thank you. Alright, so today today we will do the same thing. It's a one step further than analytical paragraphs. Today we will do avoiding repetition. Okay. Now if I say I want alright. If I say I want an ice cream, I want mango, I want white glass, I want a chilled glass of juice. Leave the white glass about. So if I keep on repeating I want, what is a better way of framing those questions? Framing that particular part. How can I frame it in a better way?
I want a glass of juice along with
Very good.
a mango cones.
Okay. Yes.
I need a marker.
I'll put that up. Everybody sign. Okay. You said along with mango slices. Let's make it a little more convenient. And what else I said? What did I say? Any item?
Coconut water.
Okay, you can what have a coconut water also. What are the things what I have used here?
Chilled glass of juice, mango slices, and coconut water.
Instead of I want, so I have used along with, I have used and. What is along with an and? What is along with an and?
Also.
Sorry?
Also.
Okay, instead of and, I can say also or as well as. What are they? Conjunctions. Very good. So when I want to avoid repetitions, I can use conjunctions. Like what he said, I can use even a comma. Okay. So if I don't want this, I can use a comma. Correct? I can use a comma. What else I can use? Again, it comes under conjunctions. Okay. Alright. So when you do avoiding repetition, specifically when you're framing sentences or you're framing a paragraph, you're framing a composition, instead of using the same repetition, like Tina and I went to a party, Tina and I played games, Tina and I had fun. So instead of saying Tina and I, Tina and I, Tina and I, what can I replace it with? We both, very good. We can say we both. What else? Together, very good. Along with, yes. What else? We both, we, if I take to, what is it? We. What is we? Pronouns, correct. So we can replace it with pronouns also. You have this particular exercise in your books, which is avoiding repetition. So these are the various ways of avoiding repetition. Alright, so we'll do those kind of exercise which is there in your book. I just put it up on the. Why is this popping up? You can use synonyms also, okay? One of the ways of using that, you can use synonyms also in order to break that. Why do you want to avoid repetition? In creative writing, why do you have to avoid repetition?
Because it doesn't sound good while writing.
Does it sound good while writing? Okay. And it becomes very monotonous. Secondly, you have to break when you're writing, you have to make the reader, the person who's reading, interested in what you are doing. Understood? So repetition avoids that, breaks that monotony of it, adds fluency in your language, adds to your vocabulary. So what happens is it enhances your vocabulary and reading pattern of the reader. Got it? It adds to it. In a story, if every story starts with once upon a time, would you like to read it? Right? It will be always once upon a time. Fairy tales always start with once upon a time. But suddenly there was like a flash of lightning, and there was, at that particular time, if it starts that way, it adds to the interest of your. Does it add to your interest when whatever material you're reading? So like that, even when you're talking in literature, whenever you're doing. Can you do me a favor? Can you shoot this side? You're too short for me to use this one. In this corner. This corner is sufficient. Thank you. Because you're in a dreamland and I can't see you. That is a problem. Thank you. So one giant and one this one. Jack and the Beanstalk. So since I was on fairy tales, that's the first thing which came to my mind. Okay, so avoiding repetition, this is what is there in your book. We are just going to go back. So now, why certain things are acceptable when certain repetitions are acceptable, certain repetitions are not acceptable. Quickly complete your work. Is it acceptable? Why?
Because there is a repetition of the same word.
Correct. But as I said, why is it not acceptable? Repetition here, it is, if I take this example, democracy is the government of the people, for the people, by the people. People is repeated. Here it is acceptable. Why?
Seems to sound pleasant.
Well, just because it sounds pleasant, it's acceptable.
Because you want to emphasize on the word people.
Thank you. You're putting an emphasis on the people, right? It is for the people, by the people, and of the people. That's why you're emphasizing using the prepositions to emphasize what is democracy. Understood? That's why it is okay. When I say quickly complete your work, what you have done is basically you speak in Hindi, jaldi kaam karo. You have translated the very same thing into English. And that's why when it is acceptable, it is acceptable in Hindi. But the same thing will not be acceptable in English. Because both are two different languages, isn't it? And the tendency of us, like especially when you speak in Hindi, especially if you belong to a Hindi speaking background or a Marathi speaking background, whatever, you've been brought up in that. Your brain is trained in that. Okay? English is not your mother tongue. Remember, English is never the, if you talk about Indians, most of the Indians, English will never be the mother tongue. Expect a certain category of people they will have, depending on the different castes, as I said. But we are not going to get into that. But what I'm saying is that, and as kids, you'll have a tendency of translating that. And that's why the same context, what is acceptable in a different language is not acceptable in English. So that's why we have to, as I said, break up the monotony and make it what is acceptable. You have to follow that too, okay? So this is your thing. Democracy is the, shall I increase the font? Yes. Yes. Visible? Is it visible? Okay. So democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. The emphasis is more on, like, for who the democracy is, right? So the emphasis, because of the preposition, the emphasis changes. That's why it is acceptable, because it's a repetition, but it is acceptable. By the same way, I want to scale Mount Everest, I want to do scuba diving, what I get a scale to this. I want to fly an aeroplane. And actually, I want to do a lot of things. So I want to is normally not very acceptable, because though it is grammatically correct, it's not that it's not grammatically correct, but repetitions should be avoided whenever we are writing certain things. I can simplify it. I want to scale Mount Everest, do scuba diving, and fly an aeroplane. Actually, I want to do a lot of things before I die. Definitely, this is your bucket list we are talking about. We have bucket list, right? So then it becomes acceptable. Correct? Okay. So it reveals about the author's self-confidence. However, the sentence will be rewritten with unnecessary repetition. So this will be avoided. New Delhi has many big malls. Why this is acceptable? Why this is acceptable? Though big has been repeated twice. It's written in front of your eyes. Even if it is not written in front of your eyes, you could have guessed.
Sense of wonder, like you could wonder how big
Yeah,
the
when you're
mall is.
basically emphasizing something which is like so marvelous and something which you have never seen in your life, it's acceptable, like to repeat certain time, but not twice repeat is fine. 3 times, 4 times repetition should be avoided. Okay, but it's like when you're seriously, you can't believe your eyes. Then repetition sometimes we do, na, when we are writing, we're expressing a travel log. When you're seriously going for traveling and you're writing a travel log, and you just see, like it's so marvelous. You have a tendency of reading marvelous again because it's like to emphasize this unbelievable sight, right? That particular thing is so enchanting that you can't get over it. So at that time, repetition, or when you're extremely surprised, at that time your repetition is accepted. Okay, so that's why there are big malls because the person who's expressing this cannot get over how big the mall is. Understood? That is what it is coming through. Like big malls is the person may be belonging to a village who has come, or maybe belonging to a small city. There are malls in small cities also, but may not be as big compared to Delhi. Clear? It is going to be slightly boring exercise because of the repetition, but the more you learn this one, the more you will be able to use it better in your writing. Like as I said, repetition to be avoided. Okay? Now, in the article, in the in the in this article, first I have tried to discuss the various causes of air pollution. Then I have tried to discuss the various effects of air pollution, and finally I have tried to discuss the various ways to reduce amount of air pollution. So what can be avoided here? I have tried. Because you know that the reader, the writer has tried various experiences, right? But it doesn't have to emphasize, I have tried, I have tried, I have tried. Can we reframe this?
This article first, I have tried to discuss various causes of air pollution, like discussing the various effects of air pollution and the various ways to reduce the amount of air pollution.
Okay, anybody else would like to try? Don't play with the pen, please. It's very repetitive sound.
In this article, along with discussing about the various causes of air pollution, I have tried to discuss various effects of air pollution as well as ways to reduce the amount of air pollution.
You also have used it twice.
I used different words.
Yeah, in this article, you have started with in this article. After that, all right. Another way of framing it.
I have tried to discuss the various causes of air pollution and to discuss the various effects of air pollution and finally as well as discuss various ways to reduce the amount of air pollution.
So now you are repeating various, and various. If you remove, I have tried also, but you are still repeating various.
Many ways.
Anything else?
This article first have tried to discuss the various causes of air pollution, the effects of air pollution, and the ways to reduce the amount of air pollution.
Good, better attempt. Or for the cause and effect of air pollution, and the last one is how to reduce the amount of air pollution. Got it? So I can cut short. Cause and effect, cause and effect goes simultaneously next to each other. I can frame it that way. As I said, if you're first concentrator, I have tried. You try to remove, I have tried. But what happens? You're repeating again as the various. If you notice, that's why instruction. You are repeating it again, and it becomes very mono. See, in today's day and age, you don't have the time to read the same stuff again and again. Correct? You don't even you don't even are interested in reading your own textbooks. Correct? Because you like quick, having an instant gratification, what we call. Today, anything you order has to come in 15-20 minutes. That's it, instant gratification. Whatever you want, it's on your fingertips. You get it immediately, you get it. And actually, even in reading, you don't like to read the same or listen to the same monotonous. Songs also, when you listen, your attention span is, if you like the song, you will listen to it 10 times. But after the 10th time, you will not listen 11th time. Correct? Because your attention is, means you are satisfied with how much you have listened to it. After, if you take a break and then you listen to it again after, say, 1 month, then again you will find it interesting. Got it? But after a minute, say 10 minutes, you stop listening to that song. You want to switch to another song. Your mood may have changed. Something has happened. You just don't want to listen to the song. Understood? So that is what it is. To grab the attention, that's why we have to avoid repetition. Why I am saying this? Because when you're writing in your boards, and as I said, we're talking only about boards, we're not talking about school. When you're writing in your boards, you have to make it sure that it is short, it is crisp and concise. Got it? It should be short, it should be crisp, and it should be concise. That means all the meaning should come in the sentence without leaving out certain things, but it should be very, very clear. The clarity in the sentence has to be there. Okay? I have failed. I can't believe it. So I have failed. I can't believe it. Again, as I said, it's like whenever any surprise element comes in, it's okay to be repetitive. As I said, wondering, surprised, shocked. Okay, there. But other than that, not acceptable. Like, see, the incident took place today at around 6 o'clock in the morning. So, 6 a.m. in the morning. 6 a.m. is sufficient. A.m. and P.M. everybody knows.
6 in the morning.
Yes, 6 in the morning. That's it. Or 6 a.m. You do not require in the morning because it's understood. See, I want to go to the mall. So if I say, would you like to come to a mall? Would you like to come for a picnic? So how will you reply? How will you reply?
Yes, of course.
Yes, of course, or yes, I would. That's it. Would you like to? You will have to add, yes, I would like to come for a picnic. It's understood. Like that, sometimes when you're writing certain words, like I'll say time, it is clear whatever the day it is. I do not need to emphasize in the morning, in the evening, in the night. Understood? I'll meet you at 12 noon. Would I go after like in the afternoon? Not required. That's why even when you're writing a sentence, simple. It was 6 a.m. Okay, and then continue. You don't have to write in the morning. Okay. Could you repeat that again, please? Repeat and again both mean the same thing. So do you require? You can use one only. You do not need to write again. Could you repeat the question? Oh, please repeat the question. You don't need an again to it. So these certain things you have to avoid when you're writing. Okay. I am very, very sorry. Now, why that very, very sorry? How sorry? Correct. The degree of your, how You're extremely, yes, the degree of emotion is extreme. So that's why very is acceptable. But I'm very happy. Okay, that also is acceptable when you're talking about, as I said, emotion, strong emotion, when you say very happy. Or I'm very tired. So it's expressing the degree of your tiredness. Okay. But if you are just said, like, I am exhausted instead of very tired, which would have been a better word. Okay, I'm exhausted. Exhausted shows that you're very tired. Okay, I'm absolutely tired to the core. So I have added an adjective absolutely to show the degree of my tiredness. Correct? So you can, as I said, you can use adjectives, you can things to make your writing some little more interesting. I have planned a plan. Do you need that? I have planned a plan. So what? How can you replicate it? I have a plan. That's it. Planned a plan is not required. Next, when I heard she was staying at the Parkview Hotel, I decided to go to the Hotel Parkview to meet her there. Frame it better. Frame it in a better way.
And she was staying at the hotel park. I decided to
Go to and meet her there.
go there.
Go there and meet her is better than go to. Okay? When I heard, yes?
Visit the hotel.
Sorry?
Visit the hotel and
No. You do not visit the hotel. You visit the doctor. You go to meet somebody in the hotel. You don't visit the hotel. Okay, when do you visit the hotel? Now that's why I said, see, your verbs also makes a major difference. When do you visit a hotel? You ever visit a hotel? Who do you visit?
Yes.
You visit the guest? The guest visits your house. I said, who do you visit? Doctor, you visit the doctor. Why did you use visit the doctor? Why that word visit is used with the doctor's appointment? Why? Why do you use the guest visited a house? Why? Why do we use a specific verb? Correct. It's a short period of time. It's as simple as that. It's a short period of time that when you go to a hotel, basically you go to stay there. So you are not going to come in and this one. Or if you're going to the hotel, you're going to spend at least 3-4 hours having something there. Correct? So you are not having a specific time limit. But with the doctor or when you visit the guest, you know that they normally will not stay over. You will go, have a quick visit and come back. Understood? So your verbs also play very important role in a sentence. Okay, specific verbs, specific way. Like if I say, like even if I say like strolling, and if I say stomping, there's a difference between strolling and stomping. What is the difference between strolling? Can I say I was stomping in the class, or I was stomping in the garden? Let's say I'm stomping in the garden. Why will I not say I'm stomping in the garden? Why will I not say I'm stomping in the garden? Yes. Stomping, you know what is stomping? Like walking like an elephant. Means basically you're putting a lot of pressure and walking. Correct? You're not going to the mud because garden, when you're walking also the garden is, the mud is soft, you're saying that way. But stomping, you will have a sound coming in. So you cannot stomp in the garden because when you say stomping, you can hear a loud sound coming when that person is stomping. Okay, when you're stomping is normally when you're in anger. When you really stomp your feet and you stamp your feet and you just as legs you walk away, you are literally walking with the heavy footsteps. Like trod. Okay, strolling. If I say I'm strolling in the garden, it's a relaxed pace. Correct? I'm walking there in a very relaxed way. And I'm walking in the garden. Correct? So that's why I said every verb has a specific function. You can't interchange it. You have to use it appropriately. Coming to that point. Okay, so it is the hotel park. We avoid repetition of hotel park is a noun. So in place of a noun, I used a pronoun. or I can use, as I said, conjunction. How many words have been used in a paragraph, in each paragraph? This is in your textbook. This is actually a part of a textbook. Okay. Now coming to this. Read. It's in your textbook. You didn't bring your textbook. Right now you don't need to bring your textbook, but it is okay. Is there? It is there? Page 169 and 165. Page 165.
Ma'am, the last page number is 1.
This is the other book. Show me that.
68 pages.
Show me that. Communicative English. This is in your book. This is in communicative English. Anyway, it's a communicative English. Okay, take it. So, in another escape of Gopi and Gargi to foreign, the two were playing in the courtyard of a ruined castle when they heard a strange sound as if someone. It was Gopi and Gargi in this book. It was Gopi and Gargi. So, how they have interchanged Gopi and Gargi with this? So, the two were playing in the courtyard of the ruined castle when they heard strange sounds as if someone was ringing tiny bells in the temple. But there was none in the vicinity. They knew it, and then who was making those sounds? Nothing of the sort happened during any of their earlier visits. Suddenly, this thought had a vice grip. Sorry, was the castle haunted? This thought had a vice-like grip on their minds. Naturally enough, both were terrified, but neither wanted to. So, like you can use words like former, ladder, neither, okay, either of them. So all those words can use. Were terrified, but neither wanted to admit it. Presently, the sound became louder and louder. The duo would have fled had Gargi's sharp eyes had not caught a glimpse of a herd of goats grazing behind the thickets nearby. So those are the ghosts, said Gargi, and both burst into laughter. They rushed to the spot and to have a closer look and found that there were 13 goats in all, and each had a tiny brass bell dangling from its neck. 4 goats were black and rest. Were there any ghosts in it? Were there any ghosts in it? Should be deleted. Ghosts should be replaced by them. Okay, let's try this. See, passage 1 below and fill in the blanks in passage 2 with each word. You will choose the words you underline in exercise C, which makes a better reading passage 1 and 2 by. Come on. Read.
Moina and Devi are students of class 9. Moina and Devi are great friends, although Moina and Devi don't study at the same school. Moina has never played cricket and Devi has never played cricket too, but Moina and Devi are crazy about cricket. So far, Moina and Devi have together watched international matches played by the country, India. Four of these matches were played in different foreign countries, and six of these matches were played in their country, India. Surprisingly, India has lost no match where Moina and Devi were present in the stands. Moina claims that she is more passionate about the game of cricket than Devi. Devi says that she is more passionate about the game than Devi.
Okay, now passage 2. Who's filling the blanks? You have to fill in the blanks. Come on.
Devi has students of class 9. They are great friends, although they don't study at the same school. School has never played any
Cricket, but they are crazy about
especially about games chess.
Ma'am, but that doesn't make sense that study at same school has.
Full stop should be there.
Oh,
Full full stop should be there. Then we have never or never ever played. Okay.
But they're crazy about cricket, especially about that
Okay. The answer is given down now. You replace it with that. Come on. Moina and Devi are of class 9. They are great friends, although they don't study in the same school. They
They are crazy about it. Especially when they
So far,
the two have watched 10 matches together in all in India.
India has lost.
None of them.
Yes.
4 of these matches are played in different foreign countries, and the rest in India. Each girl claims that she is more passionate about the game than the other.
What happened? Seriously, what happened? What were you chit-chatting with him about?
The answer why they given below. They should have
Because this is an exercise which is there in the communicative English, as I said. The answer, this is provided in the NCRT. It is there on the online. You've seen your official. Have you ever visited your official online this one?
textbook.
Yes, textbooks are there, your papers are there, answer keys are there. Have you ever visited it? So it is the part from there only I have taken because it is there and this is the exercise which had to be, it is scheduled for today. After this, we do clauses. Okay, so this is once we finish this, avoiding repetition, then we do clauses. Okay. That's why since it is there from NCRT book, this also the answers are given below. In your textbook, answers will never be given below. Alright, come on. You have to rewrite that now. Next, you have to rewrite. Read. Read. It is not there in that. It will not be there. But this is like, remember, you have your errors, finding errors, gap filling in all that which is there. This is a part of your that kind of exercise. You can't read. You want me to magnify it more? Say like that, no? Say I can't read. Now are you able to read?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, read.
Ratha and Rajshri are two sisters. Ratha teaches English.
Ratna it is. Ratna. What? No, you eat up what? Okay.
Ratna teaches English in a college, and her sister Rajshri works in a
Bag it is. It is not a hand. It is a bag. Okay.
Rajshri is younger than Ratna. Both went.
Where?
Both wear their
Hair long.
hair
This is
long.
correct. This is correct. Okay. After that.
Ratna likes eating ice cream while Rajshri likes pastries. Neither is interested in sports. Rajshri is married to
Utlab.
Utlab. He is an engineer. Ratna is married to Sujit. He is a businessman. Each has a daughter and a son.
So now change it. Come on. You have to change it. Replace it.
Sister
That will remain the same. The first statement always remains the same. After that, continue.
teaches English in college and her sister
While her
Yes. Okay.
Rajeshri while her sister works in a bank.
Good. You do not require Rajeshri again because already it is said that Ratna and Rajeshri are sisters. Then
Younger than Ratna. They both wear their hair long.
okay.
One likes eating ice cream.
Thank you.
While
That is what I was coming to. In place, sometimes when we don't need, you can use one. One likes ice cream while the other likes pastry.
and
Neither
either
is
of
interested
them
in
are
sports.
interested in sports.
Okay.
One
One is married to Uttam while other one is married to Sujit. Okay.
is a businessman. Sorry.
That remains the same. That we cannot change because it is not repetition. Right? And each one has a daughter and a son. Good. Now, come on. One by one, each of you start changing. First one, who's changing? of them you will try? First one is easy.
Ma'am, these codes means house task.
Yeah, chores, not
Chores.
chores. Not.
Chores are boring.
Yeah.
Scrubbing toilets, cleaning sinks, and washing bathtubs takes a lot of my time, which is not fun at all.
It is not fun at all. And is there, it's okay. Your and is not repeating. Okay. As I said, this has to be very. Only the chores have to change. The rest of the sentence is okay, the same. Next.
Ma'am, it can be like chores like scrubbing toilets, cleaning sinks, and washing bathtubs are boring and they take up a lot of time
Yes.
and are not fun at all.
Yes. See how well you're framing it right now. Next. Water. Toilets. When you're scrubbing toilets, make sure they are not stinky. I have scrubbed one before and I was lucky it didn't stink. I think toilets are one of the hardest things to scrub in the bathroom because it is hard to get around the actually a fact. If you have ever tried, especially during Corona time. Corona time also you would not. You had maids coming in. Then who was washing the toilets? What? You don't know?
I was
So that's what you wash? No. With what did you wash? You have to have a brush. You're not going to use a toothbrush to wash your toilet. You've not seen movies yet. Come on. What the fuck? You'll be useless while washing the toilet. Who washed toilets in your home during Corona? During Corona, I'm talking about when maids were also not allowed to come. Did maids come in your house or you had a stay in maid?
Most of the time, my mom.
Mom and I. You are saying you are taking a water pump and cleaning that. I think that tells her you are absolutely lying. It was your mom who used to clean the toilets.
Yes, ma'am. She asked me.
Who does it?
I said my mom and
Oh, Dad, I heard I. Sorry, my mistake. Seriously, how many of you are planning to go abroad? How many of you are planning to go abroad? You are definitely planning to go abroad. Learn to clean toilets. You are also planning to go abroad. Do you know how to clean toilets? Please learn. Because either you're going to stay in university or you're going to this one. There is self-help is the best help. Because there are no maids, nothing, everything has to be done on our own. Otherwise, you have to take from here, pay for that person's visa, that maid's visa, and then take her along with you. You know the abroad life is like that, you know, na? If you've gone abroad, if you have relatives abroad, you know, na? Everything has to be done on your own. So if you're planning to go abroad, please learn first thing to clean your clothes, clean your utensils, and clean your washroom in case you want your. If it's a dormitory style, then you are safe. If you are staying in a dormitory, then you are safe. Okay, coming to that. Come on, toilets.
When you are scrubbing toilets, make sure they are not sticky. You scrub one before and first person.
You're repeating the same thing. That's what.
You're scrubbing toilets, make sure they are not sticky. I've scrubbed one before and I was lucky. They don't sticky.
I think they are one of the most hardest things to scrub.
What is the rim? You know what is the toilet rim? Yeah, thank you. The commode seat. That also is extremely. It is called a commode. A toilet, that seat is called a commode, and that is certain technical terms you should know. As I said, certain technical terms you should know. Sinks are the easiest to clean in the bathroom because they have no rims. They are small. I have cleaned once before and it was pretty easy. Same continuation, but only thing I said I have cleaned before, you have to interchange with something else. Okay. Bathtubs ever washed them, they are big, they are deep, and it is hard to get up around the sides. The bathtub is the hardest, I think, to wash the bathroom. As I said, it is cleaning the whole house, but again, repetition is quite a lot of repetition in it. Even when it is basically, generally, that person is stating what chores the person has done in the house. And in that, the person has repeated again and again words where you have to interchange those words. Okay. All chores are boring, especially making my bed. Cleaning my bed, my room is okay. I don't think so because none of them must be cleaning. How many of you go home, open the door, and throw your bag one side, socks in the other side, third in the third side? And I think I have two characters. And who picks it up, mummy? Maid. Who?
Yeah.
You only. Do you ever find anything
After
wrong?
I get school.
After you get scolded, okay, conditions, terms and conditions apply. Very good. Very. Okay, so we often use pronouns to make links between we had done this, avoid repetitions, quick this one. Okay, so read the extract of Two Gentlemen of Verona. I think so you have it. Two Gentlemen of Verona, the first chapter. Okay, and no. Okay, this is the formal letter and all that. Now this is over, so we shall do noun clause. What is a clause, by the way? What is a clause? Anybody? What is a clause?
Something before now, something better now. This was states that we have to do.
I am teaching you, correct? So what it is? Okay, teaching. Then what is the verb?
मैंने बोला ही नहीं.
Who said that? Who mumbled? Sorry. Yes, I am teaching. So, is it a clause? I have a pen in my hand. A marker in my hand. There's a duster kept there. We are sitting in a classroom.
Mom, what is it? The line every class is synchronizing. What is it?
That's a proverb. We are sitting in a classroom. What are these? What are these?
Facts.
What are these? Facts. Okay.
Normal sentence.
Thank you. What are these?
A normal sentence.
A normal sentence. Clause is nothing but a sentence. One thing, get it clear in your mind. Clause is nothing but a sentence. Okay? Now, sentence can be independent or dependent. That comes with the category of a dependent clause or an independent clause. So, any word which you speak, any sentence which I'm writing is a clause. Got it? Don't get confused. The more complicated you make it, the more you will not be able to understand. Got it? So, clause is nothing but sentences, and sentences can be dependent and independent. Now, if I look at this, it's a sentence. Yes or no? Complete sentence? It isn't? Incomplete sentence. Okay, I need something for the support. Correct? To make complete sense because it is an incomplete. Now, if I don't look at this, look at only this. I reach school late. Complete sentence, incomplete sentence. Complete sentence or incomplete sentence. Don't be hesitant. You have to be sure.
Complete.
Why?
Because it makes sense on its own.
It makes sense on its own. Plus,
It doesn't mean you reach school late. So,
I reach school late. You're stating a fact. You have your subject. You have your verb. You have your object. That's why it is an independent sentence. Correct? So now what is the definition of a clause? A dependent clause or subordinate clause.
it needs a something support.
So what is the definition?
Independent clause needs another sentence to make complete sense.
Sense. Correct. So remember this one. Independent clause or independent sentence is like a tree. Why? Because tree can stand on its own. Why dependent clause is a ladder. Without the tree, the ladder won't stand. Without the support, nothing. So now I've understood what is a clause. So there are two kinds of clauses. One is independent, one is dependent. Okay. Now this has categories. So you have your noun clause, you have your adverb clause, you have your adjective clause, and this there are various clauses. Because we take what is a noun? Name, place, animal thing. Very good. Remember that because that is what the first thing your teacher has taught you. What is now name, place, animal thing? Correct. Now, so when you're doing name, place, animal thing, so whenever a clause, when you're talking about noun clause, it has something which is taking the place of a name. Okay, and that's it. Whatever I do today, you have to learn it. So what is the noun clause there?
Can you repeat the sentence?
Whatever I do today, you have to learn it. I put it up because, as I said, we are very confused in life. Now, first tell me what is the independent clause and what is the dependent clause. First, identify the clause here. You have to learn it. It is independent. Sure.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Not every time it's not going to be towards the end. It can start in the this one only. Okay, I can interchange it. You have to learn it. Whatever I do today, if I am interchanging it. So not necessarily it will always start with a dependent clause. Okay, it can start with an independent sentence with a dependent clause. I'll teach you that afterwards. First, tell me this because so what is this clause?
You learn it.
So first one you have to learn it is independent clause. What is the dependent clause? Whatever I do today. Okay. So which clause it is? Type of clause. Nouns. Because whatever is a subject which I'm talking about. Right? It's a thing what I'm talking about. Whatever I'm teaching you today, you have to learn it. So that's why whatever is your subject, and that's why it becomes a noun clause. So whatever, whoever, wherever, all the evers, whenever it is used in a sentence, it is a noun clause. Dependent definitely, but it is a noun clause. Okay? Clear? Understood what is the clause? On in your head? Will you be confused now anytime who tells you what is the clause? It's like noun, place, animal thing. Don't forget. It's a sentence, that's it. Only thing depends on what kind of sentence it is. Okay? And this analogy, don't forget. So you will always remember. Alright? 5 minutes break.